In this video, we will see why most investors underperform the index, even after investing for more than 10 years. So if you've been investing for a while, for some years, and you have been underperforming the market, the S&P 500, watch this video because you will have plenty of quick tips. Over the past few years, I have learned from the best investors of the world, Warren Buffett, Charlie Munger, Howard Marks, Peter Lynch, and they all point out to the main mistakes people make in investing, and this is the reason why people are underperforming. So in this video, we will talk about these mistakes and how to fix these mistakes. In case this is your first video from this channel, welcome. My name is Christophe Nour. I've been investing in the stock market for almost a decade now, and I have achieved a performance of 25% per year. And all my philosophy is based on the principles of the best investors of the world. So the goal is to not underperform. The goal is to outperform the market, which I have been doing so far. Okay, the first mistake people have, is owning too many stocks. So if you have more than 20 positions, that may dilute your results. I have taken a call recently, somebody that clicked in the first link in the description, booked a call with me, and they said they had 80 stocks in the portfolio. They had been investing in the stock market for years, but having 80 stocks was a mess. And in this portfolio of 80 stocks, you had winners, but you mostly had losers. And the difficulty of owning too many stocks is you don't have the time to monitor 80 companies. Imagine, Warren Buffett is taking this example. If you lived a couple of centuries ago and you owned the main saloon of the small city in the US, Far West era. Imagine you own the saloon, the main restaurant of the street, and the main hotel of the street. You have 3 businesses. That's already hard to manage the 3 businesses, to monitor what's happening. But if you invest in 3 businesses, that's enough. If you want to make good money at the time, if you wanted to make good money, you own the main saloon, the main bar, the main restaurant, the main hotel, and you're good to go. That's fine. Why would you own 80 businesses in your small town in the US? You don't need this. You don't need to overcomplicate things. And it's not because you own many stocks in your portfolio that you are smarter. The goal of investing in the stock market is not to be smart. The goal is to make money. And owning too many stocks is a great way of losing money because you lose track of what really matters. And I see this mistake over and over again. So quick tip for you, you can reduce the number of positions in your portfolio. Next question is, how do you reduce the number of positions in your portfolio? That's very easy. Choose what is inside your circle of competence. Okay, now let's talk about position sizing and stock picking. Imagine you want to invest in a stock and then another one. You build a portfolio and you build a portfolio up to 80 companies. Once you have bought them, this is not enough. You need to monitor them. You need to keep track of the earnings report, of the earnings calls, all the competition coming to eat your companies, all the industries that are changing. It's impossible to keep track of them all. But out of 80 companies, maybe you have your favorite ones. Maybe you have specific industries that you are more familiar with. Maybe you can choose your best 15 companies that you enjoy monitoring from a distance. So this is how you reduce your portfolio. Check what is really inside your circle of competence. Check what you enjoy watching. Check what you enjoy monitoring. Check your favorite companies that you are completely fine holding for many years. You need to be comfortable owning in the very long term. So that's how you reduce your number of positions in your portfolio. You ask good questions. What do I like? What do I feel comfortable owning for the next 5 years, 10 years? And what do I enjoy monitoring? The best businesses I have in my portfolio. If you do this, you can sell some of the holdings you have, and you will own a good portfolio with a good portfolio size. That's the first mistake I see, and that's maybe the main reason why people underperforming. They focus on the, how do you say it, the golden object, the shiny object syndrome. They just focus on the next wave of investment that will move the world, and they want to be part of everything. But sometimes boring businesses make a lot of money, and a lot of boring businesses make money, and you can make a fortune investing in 10 boring businesses. That's it. You don't need to overcomplicate things. Let me tell you something else also. Every time you buy and sell something, you have a transaction fee, right? So the more operations you do, the more transactions you do, the more fees you pay, and that's a drag on your performance. And if you sum this up, if you add all the transaction fees, that's a huge cost of opportunity for the long term. And that's maybe the reason why you underperform the S&P 500. The second mistake I see is buying stocks without clear valuation criteria. So, as I told previously, people like to invest in the next big thing, the next Nvidia, the next Google, the next Amazon, and they don't look at valuation much. And something that is really important in this investing game is discipline. If you don't have a framework, if you don't have discipline, you may fall into stupid traps, basic mistakes. What is great is that's fixable, easily fixable. If you have the right framework, the right discipline, how to assess the valuation, that's very simple. How do you assess valuation? Either you have the multiples, price earnings multiple, the PE ratio, or the price to free cash flow. You compare the market cap of the company to the free cash flow it produces in 1 year, or to the earnings it produces in 1 year. Or you can do a DCF, discounted cash flow model, to assess the valuation, have your good estimates, forecast, and you have a basic formula to see if a stock is cheap, undervalued, or is expensive, overvalued. And if I'm coming back to the call I had previously with somebody, if this person had 80 stocks in his portfolio, well, he didn't know if these stocks were cheap or overvalued. They didn't know at all if this was expensive or not. And we looked at his portfolio, and plenty of stocks were egregiously overvalued, with a PE ratio over 100, with unprofitable companies that were not growing, with decaying businesses. So he filled with portfolio with bad companies. And that comes back to the first point. He didn't have the time to monitor the companies. So he just bought a bunch of stocks and said, okay, I will see this later. But you know what? He didn't have the time. He had a job, so he had minimal time to investigate deeply into the companies he invested in. So he lost money in a very stupid way. Frankly, that's a stupid way to make money. You don't do the due diligence, you buy when it's expensive, and you don't monitor it from a distance because you don't have the time, because you own too many stocks. That's a basic mistake to make. And that's easily fixable, to just reduce the number of positions and have a clear discipline towards your stock picking process. That's very common among the retail investors crowd. By the way, if you want help with your portfolio and improve your returns, click the link in the description to book a free strategy call with me. We will see how we can work together to grow your portfolio in the long term. Okay, third mistake is no system for selling, holding losers too long. Maybe you know how to buy. If you're watching this video, I suppose you are underperforming the index. Maybe you know when to buy to assess if a stock is cheap or not. But the next question is, how do you know when to sell? That's not as easy. Buying is easy. It's quite simple. You have a multiple, PE ratio, DCF. But selling is way harder. And if you look at the strategy of Warren Buffett, Charlie Munger, and other big investors, they all say the same thing. Selling is the most difficult part of investing. If a stock goes up and the stock doubles and the PE ratio goes from 20 to 40, do you sell? The good answer is it depends. It depends on the longevity of the returns. It depends on the reinvestment rate. It depends on the runway of the potential expansion in the future. So it depends on the pricing power of the company. It depends on the moat of the company. For some businesses, it's a sell, automatic sell, because the results will look down, bad after this. And for some companies, that's a hold. And for some companies, that's a buy because the business is going twice as fast. So every situation is different, and you need a good system to operate in 3 of these scenarios. Either you sell, or you hold, or you buy. It depends for each business. And if you have 80 stocks in your portfolio, it's impossible to follow too many stocks and to assess the 3 different scenarios for 80 stocks. That's what? 3 scenarios for 80 stocks. That's 240 scenarios that you have to investigate. That's too much work, and most people don't have the time to investigate 240 scenarios. It all boils down to these 3 mistakes. If you don't have a discipline and a clear framework, and you own a diversified portfolio and you don't know much about your companies, you are forced to fail in this investing game. So this is the reason why most investors underperform the S&P 500. They don't have a clear process, they don't know when to sell, and they hold losers for too long because they don't have the time. They literally don't have the time to monitor everything. But the great thing is that's all fixable. For selling, you have different scenarios, as I just told you. Something that you can monitor if you're watching this video now and you have too many stocks is what kind of basket is my company is for 80 of your stocks. That will take you some time. You can book a call with me to have some help with this. But for 80 of your companies, if you have a portfolio of 80 companies, keep them in 3 baskets. Either an unprofitable decaying business, or a stable business, or a growing profitable business. You ditch the first part of your portfolio. Unprofitable decaying businesses. You always have this in your portfolio that you can sell them automatically. It will only be painful to hold these names on average. For the stable companies, you check. For the middle basket, you check the valuation. If the valuation is cheap, that's fine. You can hold them maybe. If the valuation is expensive, that's maybe too pricey for an average business. In this case, a good way if you want to reduce the number of stocks is to sell this one. And then you target the third basket, the profitable growing business. Now that's a little bit trickier. Depending on the valuation. Do you hold them? Do you sell them? Or do you buy more? And it all boils down, for this third basket, it all boils down to your understanding of the business. If this is inside your circle of competence, your circle of understanding, and you like the idea, like you understand really well and you have fun monitoring the results. For example, I know meta platforms really well, Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, and I have fun studying the business. I use their services, their apps every day. I know very well how it works, and I really deeply understand what they do. So I love having this stock, and I will gladly accumulate the shares over the long term. But for some companies, I don't have fun watching them, frankly. It's too complex for me, and I'm based in France. Maybe I have no links with the company, never bought a product from them because I'm based in Europe. So yeah, maybe you have no particular attachment, no link to the company. That could be a good way to assess if you want to keep them in your portfolio or not. So now I have given you good tips to reduce the number of picks you have in your portfolio, so you can have a clear portfolio with a clear framework, a clear valuation criteria, and decide how to improve your portfolio over time. If you like this video and want help improving your portfolio, click the link in the description below to book a free strategy call with me. We will review your situation and see how I can help you get better results over time.